Moving on to the Racing Post Arkle Chase. It's race 2 on day 1 of the Cheltenham Festival, and we've had a few casualties here in the last couple of days. Obviously your anti-post favourite is out of the race, Larisberg, and currently Lawler is your 11-4 favourite, Glenforce is 7-2, Defi Desai 7-2, Duke de Geneva 7-1, Paloma Blue 9-1 and 11-1 Bar. So what did you hear on the way up about this, Mikey?
Apparently it's an awful race. There's loads of non-runners in it, and David says he's an each-way squeak in it on Terence O'Brien's horse.
Articulum?
Articulum, yeah, 25-1.
Will he run here?
Yeah.
Lovely.
So with Joseph's horse is gone. Your man is the classiest, isn't he? Hobbsy's horse, defied this whatever. Yeah, he needs to be landed though late, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gertie would be the class man to do that around there. Brilliant rider.
You used to be good at it yourself now.
No, I wouldn't do it in a month of Sundays. I'd see the Hunter's Lodge in the dip, and 15 times in 13 days I'd be in the Racing Post the next day. That's what I do. No, I'm not a cool customer around there. But luckily enough, I had a Gold Cup horse and I won an out handicap. So, and Willie Mullins trained it. So, but for me, I'm going to go each way on Terence O'Brien's horse. Look, he's going to be hunting away there. One will fall. If there's no pressure on you, you might just creep away and get.
The key thing with Articulum obviously is ground, because the softer the ground the better for him, and Simon Clay said today they're going to get 35 to 40 millimetres next week, so the chances are it could start on soft ground.
Yeah, well, the ground in Cheltenham is shite. There shouldn't be racing in Cheltenham in December or January for such, like, it's our Olympics. Like, you go to Punchestown Ferry House, it's like Crow Park. Cheltenham, you walk around there and it's patchy, it's tacky. Obviously they maybe want that now for safety or something, but like, if you do, like, the ground, if it does rain there, it's going to be tacky, and you need that box ticked to get through it. So I would be worried, like, if you're wanting good ground horses there, if that's the case.
Yeah, and there's no way they'll have good, I'd say, in the description, like.
No, they'll be hypersensitive now about that crack.
Yeah.
So
so but it's
Articulum for me, yeah,
big
each
price.
way.
We like them big prices, Mikey. Keep it going. Don McClean, the Arkle is a race that's taken a few knocks, but it has kind of helped people who fancy something, and if they're still in the race, they fancy them even more now, because your Silius Emerys are gone, your Larisbergs are gone, and now you've got, by process of elimination, you've got Lawler now, who's 11-4 favourite. Are you a Lawler fan?
No, I'm not a Lawler fan. It's a pity I was looking forward to seeing Larisberg in this, because anyway, he's out, and probably the second best horse, Silius Emery, he's out as well. Defi Desai sat on a panel with Barry Geraghty last night. He wasn't sure if Defi Desai was going to go in this or go for the JLT. Obviously the JLT was the race for him until Larisberg came out, and Larisberg, his absence makes this a possibility for Defi Desai, but I don't think any decision's been made on him yet. Kalashnikov, I think he needs further. So like Lawler and Kalashnikov were the two big British horses at the start of or early in the season, and Dynamite Dollars as well, who's out as well. So the race has got a lot weaker than it was a month ago. Duke de Geneva was a good hurdler last year. He was good the last day at Goran Park. Paloma Blue is probably the one that I'd like most at the prices. He's a horse who he threatens an awful lot, and he actually ran well at the Cheltenham Festival last year. He finished 4th in Supreme Novices hurdle. He didn't jump well the last day, and he still won at Leopardstown. That was only a second chase. He missed the Dublin Racing Festival because the ground was just too quick for him. But again, on what Mikey has said about the ground, it's probably going to be the softest ground of the week on the first day. And that should suit him. A hard 2 miles at a stiff track on easy ground, that should suit him well. And Henry de Bromhead's horses, they generally turn out to be better chasers than hurdlers. So he does have to do it, but I just think he's an interesting horse. And
would you be worried that he just doesn't look like he enjoys jumping?
Yeah, like definitely. He was disappointing the last day at Leopardstown.
Nice that way.
He just wasn't fluent. Is
he a Flemingford? No.
I don't know.
I think he is.
Somebody check there quick.
Is he? Breeders?
I seen Robbie Power schooling him in Clonmel there a couple of weeks ago.
Stowaway, similar, yeah.
And he actually
high head carriage.
He did actually look very good now when Robbie was schooling him. He did, but then again, you're going round at your own pace, and you put the pressure on, going to strike quicker.
Yeah.
I think to me he looks like a horse that wants further. I think he'd be better suited than something like a JLT.
But Henry trains him. He's better over 2 mile then. Sure, Henry loves 2 miles.
Well, I broke the horse when he was in Andy Lynch's. And I got a hate for falls off. He used to book, so he did it all the time. Then when
he's a bit ignorant, isn't he? Like,
yeah.
He wouldn't be
then
one of your best pals.
Then when we started jumping him, he wouldn't jump at all. Just kept falling over them. So like jumping has always been an
issue. Even
issue. That's why he went to Henry the Bromheads to get him jumping. But not sure how well that's worked out. But
What about Gordon?
I should have sent him there.
Jesus Christ.
But if he improves his jumping a wee bit, he could improve a lot as a horse. As a
like,
young
it's hard to
I
believe
think
that.
he needs a further,
I agree with that.
To be going a stride slower where he can jump in his comfort zone. You know.
So if he gets a fast-paced, stiff track, easy ground, that'll make it. It'll just put the emphasis on stamina over 2 miles or over 2 miles in a furlong.
So at the moment, he'd be your idea, the most likely winner.
Yeah,
so
tenuous though.
Paloma Blue, yeah. It's hard to believe when he was beaten in this beginner's chase in Navan that he'd be 9-1 for an Arkle at this stage, but I suppose that's just the standard of the race. Gordon, Keith, is likely to run hardline here, and Mengley can in the JLT. Is that? I think that's decided, but they might, now that Laurishburg is out, there might be a change of plan, would there?
Yeah, no, I think at the minute hardline's definitely going for this race, alright. Mengali Khan's probably disappointing a bit over 2 miles, so they're probably just going to give him a chance over further. Hardline, he's an improving horse. He ran a weird race the last day, whether he was just minding himself a bit on the ground, he got detached, and then he stayed on well, and you know, he was a good third behind Warren Greatrix's horse. He definitely have a chance, but the 2 mile I think could be just a bit on the sharp side for him as well.
And do you like Anton at the top of the market?
Definitely the solid. He looked very good the last day.
He won't run in this.
I won't.
No, I don't think so.
Why are you only telling us this now?
No. Just letting you make a move yourself. No, there's an incredible stat actually. Since 2000, since the turn of the century, J.P. McManus has only had 6 runners in the Arkle in 18 years. And his last runner in the Arkle was Taft Knight in 2013. So he hasn't had a runner in the race for the last 5 years. And I'm convinced that he'll keep Defi Desai in the JLT because he seems to favour that race over the Arkle, even for the good horse he's had over the last 18 years or so. So that's my theory.
Yeah, I suppose Gary Moore's horse would have to have a good chance as well. I know he's unlucky, he fell at the second at the Dublin Race Festival, but he got beat the time before that. But I'd say he's a good horse, and he'd go a good gallop. He could be hard to catch.
It's funny you mentioned Knocknanews. I was actually doing a preview in Gibraltar yesterday. The 2 owners of Knocknanews were there, and they're convinced that he's got a massive chance because he's fresh and well, because he fell obviously early on at Leopardstown, and they think that Cheltenham is made for him and that he'll be able to make the run, and so he'll obviously be very interesting. He's into 11-1 now, so there's been plenty of money for him. Diarmuid, the Arkle is a race that plenty of us here are scratching our heads. Have you figured it out?
No, Silas Emery was my big hope for the season. Obviously it's kind of been a frustrating season for him, so realistically I landed yesterday in the podcast on Layla, and that was really for a lack of anything else. I just think
you're going with Layla rather than Lawler. I think you're right.
I don't know.
No, it is Layla, yeah. And
that's how the English pronounce it, isn't it?
And it's the right pronunciation, no matter what. Where you're from, Mikey? With Layla, he's done the best of these over hurdles. He was the higher rated coming into this. I mean, even that win last year at Aintree, he had Vision de Flow in second, he'd Bedrock in third, you Global Citizen back in sixth. All those horses have gone on to frank that form this season. His first performance this season at Cheltenham, he had $5 behind him. He just didn't handle Sandown that day. It just all went wrong for him. Thereafterwards, obviously, Cayley Woolacott has kind of held him back, but he's short odds. I wouldn't be punting him anti-post. I kind of think they'll probably come for him on the day, but this race is just, you have a whole lot of horses here who Glenfor's is a handicapper. You know, the more that you keep going down this race, and it's
Glenfor's is a handicapper. He was a handicapper.
Kalashnikov doesn't go right-handed and didn't handle the track that day. Like, I think Glenfor's beat him well. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But I can't have him for a Grade 1 at Cheltenham. I just think Layla is the best horse in the race, and I just think he'll probably win now.
Okay, Dean Ryan, I spent roughly 7 hours of last night with Paul Keeley, my colleague in the Racing Post. He was drinking every drink under the sun, and the drunker he got, the more of a certainty Glenfor's had become. And he said, under no circumstances whatsoever will Glenfor's be beaten in this race. And he has backed him at every price possible. Is he right?
I don't know if he'd feel the same about backing him at 7-2 right now. Every
He
price
might be
possible.
drunk this morning. You
Yeah.
asked him this morning what he'd have.
No, all credit to Paul Keeley if he's on at big prices, because he's got a horse that's prepped perfectly, coming to the race absolutely in top-notch form. Like Henrietta Knight horses, not hurdlers, are they? They all go jumping. I know he's under Mick Channon, but they're all built for fences. So he's the right type. I'm not sure he's classy enough, to be honest. You've got,
I think he is.
well, if Kalashnikov has run up to his level the last day, then he is. but we don't know.
Kalashnikov's never won going right-handed.
Yeah, well, you'd have to err on the side if he hasn't. So,
Good
Glenf-
job, Cheltenham's left-handed.
on that day when he got beat, Keith. So, like, Defi Desoy is the class act in it. I've always wanted him in the Arkle, regardless of where they were going before, what happened to Larichberg. So, if Defi Desoy goes in this, I think he'll win.
Don't think he will.
Yeah, well, I know you don't.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm just for your own
But you
sake.
Why do you think he doesn't run? Why
You don't
does
know
JP?
for definite though, Dave.
No, I don't know for that.
No, I'd love to know that now.
You prefer him to run in this race?
I would, and I've been saying it all year on the Racehour that Defi Desoy is an Arkle horse. That's my view. If he goes in there, I think he'd be very tough to beat. If he doesn't go in there, then you've only got a couple of horses that really come in with everything in their favour. I'm not sure. I think Lawler would have needed another run. I don't think that experience from Sandown will be forgotten. I know it's 90-odd days by the time they line up in the Arkle, but I think they would have got another run. And if I was Dickie Johnson on the day, and I'm no jockey, I would have pulled him up that day. But he let him go through, and he's probably taught him plenty. 11-4 looks short off the back of that. Duke de Ginevra's comes in off a nice prep, and there's nothing wrong with that horse. And I think it might be a slight afterthought to get him here, but they're going to get him here. Paloma Blue just doesn't jump well enough. Henry de Bromhead's a master at fixing them, but I wouldn't be too sure. So Duke de Genève's and Defi Desoy. If Defi runs, Defi wins.
Okay, Defi for you. Okay, lads, so to sum up, Dean, you're a Defi Desoy fan. Diarmuid?
Layla.
Mikey?
Each way, articulum.
Keith?
Definitely the Sol if he runs.
And Donn?
Paloma Blue. He jumps.
There you go.